So in this video, we are going to learn how to get data of a new row every day from Google Sheet and send on Slack. So this is going to be an amazing automation, guys. For example, let's assume into my Google Sheet, I have added the details of a new task which I want to assign to my team members for next few days. Now I want that every day the details of a task should be received from Google Sheet and then those details should be sent on my Slack channel to my team members. So let me tell you, you can actually automate this process. So using this automation, first we are going to select the schedule by Pabbly as a trigger of this automation because we want to run this automation daily. We want to run this automation every day. So we are going to trigger this automation daily, and daily we are going to get the details of a row from Google Sheet. Like for the first day, we are going to get the details of the row 1. The second day, we are going to get the details of row 2. The third day, we are going to get the details of row 3. In this way, every day we will get the data of the next row, and then we will be sending a Slack message with the same details and update our team members. So in this video, we just took an example of Slack, but if you want, using this automation, you can send that data of a new row every day to any other application of your choice. So if you want to know how you can set up this automation, for that you just have to come with me to my screen.
So as you can see, here we are on Pabbly Connect's dashboard. Now to reach this dashboard, you will get a free sign-up link of Pabbly Connect in the description box below. By clicking on that link, you can create your free Pabbly Connect account in just 2 minutes. And after reaching to this dashboard, just click on Create Workflow and give this workflow a name. For example, I would like to name my workflow as Google Sheets to Slack. And then just click on Create. Now you can see that our workflow is open over here. And in this workflow, we have 2 different windows. First one is the trigger window and second one is the action window. So triggers and actions are basically those 2 concepts, those 2 principles on which this whole automation works on, where the trigger says when this happens and the action says do this. So let's begin with the trigger window. Now the idea here is we are just taking an example of daily task. So let's suppose that in my Google Sheet, I have the details of all the tasks which I want to assign to my team on a daily basis, on a regular basis. So here for the first day, I have the data or the details of a task in row 1. For the day 2, I have the details in row 2. For day 3, I have details in row 3. In this format, I have these details. Now I want that using this automation, every day, the data of a row should be received inside Pabbly Connect, and the data of that particular row should be sent as a message on my Slack channel. So here we want to set up an automation in such a way that this automation workflow should be executed. This automation should run every day. Every day it should get the data of a new row. Like for day 1, it should get the data of this row number 2. In day 2, it should get the data of this row number 3. In day 3, it should get the data of row number 4. And in this way, it will be keep on going. So we want to get the data of a new row every day and send it as a message on our Slack channel. So we are going to set up this kind of automation in this video using Pabbly Connect. So let's see how it is done. First, we'll get back to our workflow, and here in our trigger window, because we want to run this workflow every day, we are going to select a feature, a module of Pabbly Connect that is called Schedule. So select Schedule by Pabbly over here. So let me tell you guys first that in this video, I'm just taking an example of task details, this task description daily task, which I want to assign to my team. But instead of this, you can set up this automation for any kind of use case you have. And I'm sending just a message on Slack for an example. If you want, you can get the data of a new row from Google Sheet and send it to any application of your choice. So here we have selected Schedule by Pabbly and Trigger in our workflow. After this, the next thing it asks us is how often you want to run your workflow. And here in this drop down, you can see different options. We want to run this workflow every day. So we are going to select every day over here. So just select it. And then it is asking us for the time, that every day at what time this automation workflow should trigger. So I want to trigger this automation workflow every day at 10 a.m. So I want to send the message on my Slack channel with a new row of data every day at 10 a.m. to my team. So I'm selecting this time according to my requirement, and then just click on Save. And as we click on Save, here you can see that we have successfully scheduled this workflow to be executed at 10 a.m. every day. Now after this, guys, what we have to do, we have to get the data of a new row every day. So here, before getting the data, we have to basically add a function in such a way that every day a new row number should be received. Like when this automation workflow will execute for the first time, we should get a row number 2. Then when it will work for second time, we should get row number 3. When it will work for third time, we should get row number 4. So we actually want to insert this kind of counting numbers in our automation workflow. And to add these kind of counting numbers in our workflow, we are going to use counter by Pabbly. So here we will come to our action window, and here in choose app, we are going to search for another feature, another module of Pabbly Connect that is called number formatter. Just select it. And after selecting number formatter by Pabbly, in action event from this drop down, select the action event as counter. Because we want to add counting numbers in this automation workflow every time this workflow is executed, basically every day. Then just click on connect. After selecting counter as an action event and clicking on connect, the first thing it asks us is the initial value. The help text says enter initial value from where the counting will begin. So we are going to enter the initial value as 1 over here. We want the counting to be start from 1. Then operation should be incrementing over here because we want increasing numbers every time this workflow is executed like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we are going to select increment over here. Then it is asking us change by value, that by what value this incrementing number should change. So we are going to enter change by value as 1 over here. We want the value to be changed as 1 every day, every time this workflow is executed. So the first time we are going to run this, from 1, the initial value is 1, it is going to increase 1 in that and the result will be 2. Then after that, the second time this workflow will be executed, it will once again increase the value by 1. And after 2, the next time we are going to run this workflow the next day, the value will be 3 in response. So in this way, we are going to enter change by value by 1. Then it is asking us reset on execution. What is this? Let's read the help text. It says select yes if you want to reset the final value to the initial value each execution of step. Else select no. So after every execution, if you want to change the last value as the first value, then you have to select yes over here. So we don't want to reset on every execution. We want this to keep running every time this workflow is run. So we are going to select no over here. And then it is asking us reset counter after reaching certain value. So if you want to reset this counter after reaching a certain value, a certain amount over there in our workflow, like if you have 30 rows of data in this Google Sheet, if you want that after reaching to the number 30, after sending 30 rows of data for 30 days, the next day on the 31st day, if you want to reset this counter and start counting by 1 once again, then in that case, you have to enter that recent value over here. But here guys, right now, we don't want to reset this counter at any point. So we are just keeping this field blank. And then just click on save and send test request. After clicking on save and send test request, here you can see that we have received some response. And in this response, you can see the initial value which we have entered, that was 1. We have also entered the change by value, that was 1 also. Here you can see we have just now entered. And here you can see the final value. So while clicking on save and send test request, it has started counting from 1, and every time this workflow will be executed, it will change this value by 1, and then we will get this final value. So right now when we clicked on save and send test request, we have received the response as 2 over here. The next time, like tomorrow when this automation workflow will run, it will get the response as 3. The next day it will get the response as 4, and a day after that it will get the response as 5. So in this way, we will be getting incrementing numbers, counting numbers every day over here. And we have basically added these counting numbers because every day we want to get the data of a new row. So basically these final values, these number which we are getting from counter, these will be our row numbers over here. Like right now, we have received the final value as 2 over here. So while setting up this automation from this Google Sheet, we will get the data of row number 2 from our Google Sheet and send it as a message on Slack or any other action step of your choice. When tomorrow this automation workflow will execute, using this counter, we will get this final value as 3. And then we are going to get the data of row number 3 from our Google Sheet. A day after that, the final value from this counter will be 4, and we will get the data of row number 4 from our Google Sheet. In this way, every day this automation workflow will execute. using this counter, we will get a new final value, a number added to the yesterday's value, the previous value. And then we will get the data of that particular row number from our Google Sheet in the next step. So here guys, we have received the final value. We have received the row number, the counting number. Now what we have to do in the next step, we have to actually get the data from our Google Sheet of this row number. For that, we will just scroll down, click on this Add Action Step button over here. And then here in Choose App, we will search for Google Sheets. Just select it. And then in Action Event from this drop down, select the action event as Get Rows. After selecting Get Rows, just click on Connect and select Add New Connection over here. Now here in this section, we have to connect our Google Sheets account with Pabbly Connect. So we have to basically connect the same Google Sheets account from the sheet from which we want to get the data every day. So what we are going to do, we will just click on this Sign In with Google button and then select our Google Sheets account in which we have created this Google spreadsheet from which we want to get the data. Scroll down and click on Continue. And as we click on Continue, we will see our Google Sheets account will get connected with Pabbly Connect. After making this connection, the first thing it asks us is to select the spreadsheet. And here in this dropdown, you will see a list of all the Google spreadsheets which we have created in our Google Sheets account. So here in this dropdown, you can see a list of all the spreadsheet. And here from this dropdown, you have to select the same sheet from which you want to get the data. You want to get the details of a new row. So I have created this sheet named as Daily Task. So from this dropdown, I'm going to select this sheet from which I want to get the data. After this, it is asking us to select the sheet. So it is most likely possible that into a Google Sheet, you have created multiple sheets over here. So if you have created multiple sheets, in this dropdown of Select Sheet, you will get a list of all the sheets over here. And from this dropdown, you can actually select that particular sheet from which you want to get the data of a new row every day. And then it is asking us for the range. Now here you might be thinking, what is this range? So here we have to actually enter the range for which we want to get the data. Like the range for my Google Sheet over here, like right now, I want to get the data from this column A to column C. So here the range will be A2 colon C2 because I want to get the data of column A to column C from row number 2. So here guys, what we are going to do, we are just going to copy this range from this range section from Google Sheet and paste it over here. But here guys, right now the row number is 2 in this range. But we are setting up this automation in such a way like every day we want to get the data of a new row. And for that, we have also added this counter step, like we will be getting counting numbers over here. So what we are going to do in this range section, the final value, the final counting value which we have received in the previous step from the step of counter, we are going to actually map this response of final value over here in this range section. So here after A, we are going to map the row number as the number which we receive from number formatter, the counter step over here. And here also after C or after our column, here we are going to map the same row. So no matter how many columns of data you are adding over here, like if you have added the details or the data in your Google Sheet, for example, till column H, you have to enter 8 colon H, and then here in this range, the row number which was entered over here, the row number which we have received in this range after selecting this data, we have to actually change this row number from the data which we have received from counter. In this way, every day this automation workflow will run, and using counter, we will get an incrementing value. We will get a new value after adding 1 to it. And the data of that particular row will be received inside Pabbly Connect in this step. So right now, we will be getting the data from A2 colon C2, like for this data. When tomorrow this automation workflow will run, it will change this final value of counter to 3. So tomorrow, we will get the data from A3 to C3. The name next to that, we will get the data from A4 to C4 in this way. So we have basically mapped the data of counter, the final value which we have received from counter in this range section after entering our columns over here. And then now just click on Save and Send Test Request. After clicking on Save and Send Test Request, here you can see that we have received some response. And in this response, you will see the details of the same row over here. So here we have entered the data of row number 2. We have entered the range as A2 colon C2. And we have received the data from A2 colon C2, from A2 to C2. So here you can see the same task name, same task description, and also the same due date. So data of the row number 2 is received inside Pabbly Connect over here. So the step 2 of setting up this automation is also completed. We have received the data of a particular row from our Google Sheet inside our Pabbly Connect workflow. Now let's move to our final step. And in our final step, we want to send this same data of a new row from our Google Sheet as a message on our Slack channel. And for that, we will just scroll down, click on this Add Action Step button over here. And here in Choose Apps, search for Slack. Just select it. After selecting Slack, in Action Event from this drop-down, select the action event as Send Channel Message. Then just click on Connect and select Add New Connection over here. So here guys, we have to basically connect our Slack account with Pabbly Connect in this window. And to make this connection, click on this Connect with Slack button, and then here the first thing it asks us is the token type. So while connecting Slack with Pabbly Connect, we have two different types of token. Either we can make a user-based connection or we can make a bot-based connection. So it can be a user-based token or a bot-based token. Now you will be thinking that what is the difference between a user-based token and a bot-based token? So here in the help text below, you can see this hyperlink. Just click on it and it will take you to a page on our forum. At this page, you will see a complete difference between a user-based token and bot-based token. So you can refer to this page and get to know that what kind of token you should use. Right now, I'm just using a user-based token. So I'm going to enter user over here and click on save. After clicking on save, because I have logged into my Slack account in my browser, Pabbly Connect has detected this same account over here. So what I'm going to do, I will just scroll down and then I'll click on this allow button. And as we click on allow, we will see our Slack account will get connected with Pabbly Connect over here. After making this connection, the first thing it asks us is the channel, that we have successfully connected our Slack account. But in our Slack account as well, we might have multiple channels over here. So on which particular channel we want to send the message. So in this drop down below channel, you can see a list of all the channels which we have created in our Slack account. So here guys, from this drop down, you have to select the channel on which you want to send the message. I have created this Slack channel named as Daily Task. So I will be selecting this channel from this drop down on which I want to send the message. Then it is asking me for the message, that what is the actual message I want to send. So I want my message to be, hello team. Okay, so this is the kind of message I want to send on my Slack channel every day with the details of the task which I get from a new row from our Google Sheet. Hello team, your today's task details are as follows. We want to share the task name, task description and due date. So details of a task which we are going to receive from a row from our Google Sheet every day, we want to share these same details as a message on our Slack channel. And we have received these details from our response in Google Sheet. So after getting this response from Google Sheet, we have received the data of a row in our response. So every day we will get the data of a new row. So a new message will be sent with the task details on our Slack channel. Now here guys, in this message section, we have to actually map this data which we have received from Google Sheet. So one by one, we are going to map the task name, details and due date over here. And as you all saw, the process of mapping is very simple. Simply, we are just going to click on this field of message and in front of task name, I want to mention the task name which we have received from Google Sheet over here. So from this drop down, here you can see a list of all the responses which we have received from Google Sheet or from previous step. And here from Google Sheet responses, select this response of task name and map it in front of this in this message field. Then follow the same process of mapping for task description and due date as well. Just click on this field and from Google Sheet responses, map the task description and then once again, map the due date as well. In this way, whatever data of a row we are getting from Google Sheet, we can actually map that data in this message section of Slack. And you can basically create any message of your choice. In this video, I have just created this simple message over here. Now, after creating the message and mapping the data of a row which we have received from Google Sheet, the next thing it asks us is the image URL and image alt text. So using this action of Slack inside Pabbly Connect, if you want, you can send some images as well as a message on our Slack channel. Right now in this video, we don't want to send any image, so we can ignore these fields for now. Then it is asking us bot name and bot icon. So while connecting our Slack account with Pabbly Connect, we had two options. First one was the user-based connection and second one was a bot-based connection. So if you create a bot-based connection between Pabbly Connect and your Slack account, you have an option to enter the name of the bot and the bot icon. So using a bot-based connection, a bot is going to send messages on our Slack channel. So what will be the name of that bot and what will be the icon of that bot? You can enter both of these details over here. You can enter the bot name and you can enter the link, the URL of the image which you want to set up as the bot icon over here. Right now, because we have selected a user-based connection, so we can ignore these two fields for now. Then it is asking us auto expand link. So yes, I want to auto expand links if I share as a message. So I'm selecting true over here. Then it is asking us link username and channel names. So I'm selecting true. Then it is asking us reply broadcast. So I don't want to reply to broadcast or thread messages. So I'm selecting false. And then it is asking me if you want to reply to broadcast or thread messages, you have to enter the thread message ID. So we are just sending some new messages. So we can ignore these fields for now. And then just click on save and send test request. After clicking on save and send test request, here you can see that we have received some response. And this response seems to be a positive response to us. This response shows that the message which we have created over here with the details of a row which we have received from our Google Sheet, a message with the same details has been sent on our Slack channel, the same channel which we have selected over here. So let's check it. We will go to a Slack account and yes, here you can see that just now a new message is sent on a Slack account. Hello team, your today's task details are as follows. Task name, complete project proposal, task description, draft and complete project proposal for new client. The due date is May 25, 2023. So here guys, using counter, we have received the number 2 as the counting value over here. And here you can see that the data of row number 2 from our Google Sheet has been sent as a message on our Slack channel. So now you can see that the automation workflow which we have created in this video, this automation is working perfectly fine. Every day this automation workflow will run, it will get a new counting number, new incrementing number from our counter step, and then of the row number of that particular count or the data of a new row, the next row from our Google Sheet will be received inside this workflow. And we will send the data of that same row as a message on our Slack channel every day. So every day we will send the data of a new row of the next row on our Slack channel. And as I told you in this video, I just took an example of Slack over here. If you want, you can send the data of a row from Google Sheet every day to any application of your choice. It can be WhatsApp, Telegram, or any other platform of your choice. So not just these applications, you can connect plenty of other applications with Pabbly Connect. And guys, one more important thing. You will find the clone link of this exact same workflow in the description box below. By clicking on that link, you can actually clone this same workflow into your own Pabbly Connect account and use this automation workflow for free. Also, let me tell you, Pabbly Connect offers you a free plan. And in this plan, you will get some free tasks every month into your own Pabbly Connect account. So if you want to try and test this automation, you can do it for absolutely free.
If you have any kind of doubts or queries, you can post them on forum.pabbly.com. So if this video was helpful to you, you can obviously like this video, comment down your suggestions, and don't forget to share it with others. So guys, that's it for today's video. Thank you. Have a great day.